Real estate may be a useful addition to an investment portfolio since not only is each piece of real estate completely unique, but no more of it is being produced. Real estate is an excellent strategy to increase the value of your investment. Whatever form of real estate investment you choose, there is a vast array of alternatives for real estate investors. Whether you want to be a hands-on or entirely hands-off investor, you'll now have complete real estate tips and tricks. Hello everyone, welcome to Finance Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about real estate tips and tricks. Quick guide. If you're new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. What you should know about real estate investment. For many novice investors, investing in real estate represents the height of success. Regardless of market circumstances, real estate can be touched and stood on, unlike stocks and bonds. You still have a portion of the earth that is not disappearing, even if the market crashes. Many investors find comfort in this kind of investment that they can't get from other kinds of investments that could appear more ethereal, even if they are backed by very real firms. Unfortunately, a lot of individuals have the false belief, completely unfounded, that real estate's value can only rise. You could see lower returns or even a collapse in the value of your home if the condition of the property deteriorates or the neighborhood loses its appeal. In contrast to stocks, real estate requires maintenance, whether you do it yourself or hire someone, as well as the payment of other costs like taxes and insurance, even if you're not generating a profit. Even in the worst of circumstances, real estate does have a tendency to hold some amount of value, but this is far from a guarantee. Understanding your real estate market, your competitors, your prospective clientele, and the earning potential of your property is crucial when making any sort of investment. Although most real estate investing doesn't come with much glamour, it may be a good counterbalance to risky equities and other assets like cryptocurrency. There are really many different methods to enter the real estate market, despite the fact that when most people think of real estate investment, they picture owning a modest rental property. Each has risks and benefits, and many provide distinct investing opportunities. Speculating on land. When you buy a piece of land with the goal of selling it as a whole or in pieces, you are engaging in land speculation. This is the first real estate tips and tricks. You may be able to own a property in certain parts of the nation, but you must sell the water rights or the mineral rights to other corporations, such as mining operations or oil and gas firms. Even if land speculation is often a short-term type of real estate investment, oil and gas miners, farmers, house builders, or commercial developers, selecting the right land piece at the right price at the right time may help a wise investor earn a tidy return. Even if land speculation is often a short-term type of real estate investment, oil and gas miners, farmers, house builders, or commercial developers. Although quite simple, land speculation may be dangerous. You must be well aware of the benefits your land provides to a specific market, as well as its current value and future potential. Additionally, you'll need to pay professionals to record everything. There is a substantial degree of risk involved with land speculation, since it often entails acting as a middleman between land sellers and land developers, particularly if demand for real estate in your region begins to decline. Recall that area of land that has been vacant for 20 years, despite repeated promises that it would be developed. Property flipping. Everyone has heard of property flipping at this point, but what you see on television doesn't entirely represent the process of effectively buying a residential property, improving it, and then selling it to a buyer who will adore it. You'll need a large sum of money to pay for labor and materials. You'll also need a reliable construction team or subcontractor. Additionally, you'll probably be subject to a number of inspections, all of which you must pass before you can put your house on the market. Although it is possible to get a construction loan, owing to experience requirements and other bank-imposed conditions, first-time flippers often find it challenging to do so. A flip that is priced appropriately and will appraise for the asking amount, however, could not stay on the market for very long in the current real estate market. Be ready to perform any extra repairs discovered by the buyer's inspection. No matter how many people have worked on a home, none of them are flawless. In the worst-case scenario, you can turn your flip home into a rental. Although it won't be ideal, and it will take much longer to recoup your investment, this may be an option if no one wants to purchase the house. Sometimes the market changes after you begin a project, and your only choice is to continue. When starting a business flipping houses, always have a backup plan. Short-term rentals. Using additional homes or auxiliary dwellings that are already on your land to generate some extra income is a terrific idea. When renting out short-term rental properties by the night or the week, you have a lot of control over who receives the keys. Additionally, you can get bigger returns than you would from a typical residential lease. As many homeowners groups and localities are on the warpath against short-term rental landlords and many have outlawed them outright, be sure the area where your short-term rental property is located permits that sort of transaction. Additionally, you must be on top of your customer service game, since evaluations from past visitors might affect how well-liked your rental is. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to talk about real estate tips and tricks. Small-scale residential rental properties. Some individuals decide to invest in real estate by only purchasing a few modest homes. To get a sense of what it's like to be a hands-on landlord, a couple of homes or a duplex can be a good place to start. The majority of extremely tiny landlords choose their own tenants, take care of maintenance issues, and conduct their own evictions. Hiring a property manager may make sense as you expand your real estate holdings. But at the beginning, the margins are probably too thin for a manager. Many of us are already familiar with the landlording industry, since we have almost certainly leased something from someone at some point. This makes it a little more convenient than, say, investing in real estate. You'll also need to enforce your leases and maintain the property, which may include anything from hiring a plumber on a backhoe when a sewage line suddenly collapses at 3 in the morning on a Saturday to collecting rent from obstinate tenants. Large-scale residential rental properties. Larger-scale rental properties, in contrast to small-scale residential rentals, are often rather hands-off enterprises. These are often more substantial apartment and complexes, single-owner home developments, or even a collection of residential properties. You'll likely invest in these properties as a member of an investment group unless you have a sizable cash reserve on hand. The group might be a few close friends with money to invest in or a company that lets you purchase a stake in the development. Without any prior building or landlording expertise, large residential rental portfolios may be a pretty attractive entry point into the world of real estate investment. Keep a tight eye on the firm managing the investment. It should have low debt, a cash reserve for maintenance, and a clear vision for the future. Find out how long you must hold an investment before you can sell it. Regardless of how the market is doing, certain organizations will lock you in for a longer period of time than others. Commercial real estate. Investing in commercial real estate may take many different forms. A modest mini storage facility, a few vacant warehouses in an industrial park, a small structure, or even an office complex are all possible construction projects. Each of these assets requires a distinct set of skills to lease. But in the end, commercial real estate often has better values than residential real estate and frequently commands higher rates. The risks associated with commercial real estate might be high. In weak markets, it may be challenging to find tenants for particular kinds of real estate. For instance, workplace rentals have been quite hit or miss during the COVID-19 pandemic, since some businesses are letting their employees come back to the office while others are still keeping them at home. On the other hand, when moving into directly held commercial real estate, it cannot be leased quickly enough. Having a competent property manager or real estate agent on your side is crucial. Commercial real estate may be most profitable in real estate tips and tricks. Real estate investment trust rights. You may purchase shares of funds called real estate investment trusts on the open market. Rights are exchanged in the same way that stocks are. As long as you don't mind losing money, rights are virtually liquid, similar to stocks. If you need to withdraw your money fast, you won't need to worry about property maintenance or any of the other day-to-day concerns with smart investment. But you should be worried about the management of any firm and how their funds are being used. As with other fractional real estate investments, you should make sure the company has little debt, a good amount of equity it can use if the market goes down, and a long-term plan for its properties. REITs are an excellent method for novice real estate investors to add a little real estate exposure to their portfolios since they are highly transparent and require them to reveal a lot of information about the revenue and costs. REITs carry the same risk as any other kind of stock. You could lose a lot of money as a result of someone else's poor management, or the corporation might be at fault. Make sure to thoroughly research the product before making a purchase. For every investor, there is a real estate investing strategy. Whatever type of investor you are, there is bound to be a real estate investment that is ideal for you. Looking for something hands-on? Want to give landlording or flipping a try, but want something more along the lines of set it and forget it? REITs could be perfect for you. As with any type of investment, be sure that you completely understand the terms of your real estate investment before you put any money on the table. Real estate is a long game, and it pays to make these decisions carefully and thoughtfully. We've reached the end of another video, and thank you for watching. I hope you have learned some real estate tips and tricks. If you like this video, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Thank you and goodbye.